So our final financial performance metric driven by profit, return on equity. Not surprisingly, the question this metric answers is, which return does the company generate on its equity? Equity being an important number for a shareholder, the owner. The equity gives you an indication how much this person has invested in the company, and obviously that person is interested in the question of what's the return on the money I invested in the company. So the definition now differs a little bit compared to the previous metrics we had. Remember the previous metrics, return on sales, return on investment, and return on net assets. We used actually in the nominator the earnings before interest and taxes. Well, this time it's net income. Why is that? Because the owner doesn't want to measure an operating manager on the question of what have you done to impact our business. The owner would like to know how much money did I invest and what is left over after all for me. So that's the reason the owner actually goes in and deducts the interest and the taxes as well and asks what is left over as the final line here in my income statement, which is net income, i.e. profit after tax and after interest. Now, the calculation is very simple. We assume we have a net income of 5, and if we take this 5 and actually divide it by our equity of 25, we find out that the return on equity is 20. And obviously, for an investor, this number can now be compared to what other companies generate in the given industry, what other investments this investor can currently make in there. So very much I can use this from an investor perspective as a benchmark. And this is done obviously by in particular the Investopedias of this world who reflect the owner position. This is done by the financial press. They like to take this metric as well. However, it is not done to actually measure operating performance. Why? Because this metric incorporates actually the operating business and the non-operating business in the shape of the interest and the taxes. Except we look at banks. Banks, obviously, in their case, interest, we said, is operating business. So for them, actually, we have to take a number which is below earnings before interest and taxes. We have to take a number which is after interest and possibly even after taxes. So this is a number which is oftentimes taken to compare different banks. That is the part, financial services, where this can be an operating metric. In general, however, it is more an owner metric. So with that, we've basically finished our view on financial metrics here. So keep in mind now, summarizing this, the advantage of return on sales, nice and easy. Everybody can understand what a margin is, an operating margin. Then we came to ROI and RONA, incorporating the assets. And now we have finished here with a number which is actually the crucial number for the owner, the question of how much money do I have in the company and what is actually left over for me in the income statement. The next stage is now that we will dig deeper, trying to analyze what can you do in your operations to optimize those metrics. And you will see this in the next videos.